Welcome back to Fish and Coin. Bitcoin has been getting hammered recently. Panic is spreading through the ocean. How much lower can we go? Let's dive into the higher time frame chart. Alright, let's start with the weekly chart. To understand where we are today, we first need to understand where we came from. Back in November 2021, Bitcoin printed its all-time high before entering a brutal bear market. That bear market eventually bottomed in November 2022, and from there Bitcoin began an incredible recovery. Over the following years, price climbed all the way to roughly $125,000 in late 2025. But since that high, we've entered the downtrend we're currently dealing with. You can clearly see the market structure: high, low, lower high, lower low, another lower high, and now most recently another lower low. At the moment, there's a lot of fear in the market. Bitcoin feels less like a chart and more like a strong ocean current, pulling everything deeper into the abyss. In moments like this, it's important to keep a clear head. Everyone wants to know where the bottom is. The truth is, nobody in the entire ocean knows. What we can do is analyze the information available to us and build scenarios. And that's where the chart becomes useful. One thing that stands out to me is the amount of volume that has been traded in this area. A helpful tool for visualizing volume is the Visible Range Volume Profile Indicator. If you set the row size to 240, it provides a detailed visualization of the volume across the visible chart. You can clearly see a major volume cluster that was formed around the 2021 cycle top, which marked the beginning of the bear market, and the interaction with those same price levels years afterward during the rally that ultimately led to the all-time high. This zone could potentially act as support. Now, support doesn't mean price has to reverse immediately, but it does mean this is an area where buyers may become interested again. That's why I think this zone is worth paying attention to, especially for anyone looking to accumulate Bitcoin over the long term. How does the rotation happen? Major trend reversals often take time, like we saw here and here. This one took roughly 90 days. This one more than 100. Markets rarely move from panic straight into a new bull run. More often, they spend time building a bottom. And we may see something similar again. If you ask me, this area creates some very interesting long side opportunities, but that's all it is. A scenario, not a certainty. Bitcoin can absolutely go lower from here. However, from a higher timeframe price action perspective, this looks like a logical area where buyers could begin stepping back into the market. Another chart I'm watching closely is the historical Bitcoin Volatility Index. For anyone unfamiliar with it, this indicator measures how aggressively Bitcoin's price is moving. Large volatility spikes are often associated with major crashes, panic events, or significant market moves. Volatility remained relatively low for weeks and months before this latest sell-off. Historically, periods of high volatility are often followed by calmer periods. Not always, but often. So after such a significant move, there's a reasonable chance we enter softer waters for a while before the next major volatility event arrives. So what's my plan? It's pretty simple. Inside this support area, I've started accumulating Bitcoin again, but I'm doing so while fully accepting that price can still move lower. That's important. I'm not going all in, I'm keeping capital on the sidelines. If Bitcoin continues lower, I want to have liquidity available to improve my average entry price. For future buys, I'm watching additional support zones below the current market. That way, I have a structured plan instead of reacting emotionally to every candle. If you enjoyed this analysis, consider subscribing and joining me on my journey to becoming a profitable Bitcoin trader.